Hello students, welcome to Social Science online classes. In this session, we shall discuss about the remaining rulers of the Mughal Empire. Okay, Jahangir. Jahangir, the meaning of Jahangir is conqueror of the world. Okay, the meaning of Jahangir means the conqueror of the world. Akbar's son Jahangir ascended the throne after the death of his father in 1605. Okay, he came to the throne after the death of his father Akbar in 1605. Or impartial justice. Jahangir is known for impartial justice. He provided good administration and continued all the policies of Akbar. He had personal as well as matrimonial relationship with Rajputs. Okay, he had personal as well as matrimonial relationships with Rajputs. He liberalized few restrictions against the ruler of Mewar. Jahangir personally led an attack in 13 CE and defeated him. Okay, see here Jahangir is known for the impartial justice. He himself was a pattern of arts. Jahangir granted trading rights to the European merchants of Portuguese and England. Please note it down. Jahangir granted trading rights to the European merchants of Portugal and England. Okay, during Jahangir's rule, the Mughals lost Kandahar to the Persians. They also lost control over trade routes to Afghanistan. During Jahangir's time, his queen Noor Jahan became very powerful and almost took over the reins of Mughal Empire. See what happened here during Jahangir's time, his queen Noor Jahan became very powerful and almost took over the rule of Mughal Empire in her own hands. However, the sons of Jahangir from his other wives did not accept her command and authority. Kurram was the most ambitious among them. Among the sons of Jahangir, Kurram was the most ambitious among them. He openly revolted against his father in 1622 CE. When Jahangir died in 1627, he was crowned as the new Mughal emperor known as Shah Jahan. Now tell me what is the original name of Shah Jahan? The original name of Shah Jahan was Kurram. Okay. Kurram later when he was crowned as the new Mughal emperor, he came to be called as Shah Jahan. Okay, now let's see about Shah Jahan. During the rule of Shah Jahan, the Mughal invasions on the South India continued. Okay, even during the time of Shah Jahan also, the Mughal invasions on South India continued. Now, what is the meaning of Shah Jahan and meaning of the name Shah? The ruler of the world. Shah Jahan ruled from 1628 CE to 1656 CE. From when to when he ruled? 1628 to 1658. Okay. Shah Jahan ruled from 1628 to 1658 CE. It means almost 30 years he ruled. Okay. He ascended the Mughal throne in 1628. He conquered Ahmednagar, while Golconda and Bijapur accepted his rule. Okay, here see, Noble Kunjahan Lodi of Afghanistan rebelled against Shah Jahan and he also got defeated. And he also defeated, Shah Jahan also defeated Portuguese in 1632 CE and annexed Hooghly from them. He took Ahmednagar under his control. I already told you. Monda and Bijapur also accepted his rule. Shah Jahan is remembered in the history as a great builder of monuments. Okay, his relationship got spoiled with Sikhs and Bundelas. He faced defeat by Uzbeks while trying to conquer Balk region from them in Middle Asia. Shah Jahan followed the method of valuating a land based on its fertility and fixed land tax based on. See, he started the method of valuating the land which was based on the fertility of the land. According to the fertility of the land tax was fixed. Shah Jahan is remembered in the history as a great builder of monuments. His reign is called the Golden Age of Mughal architecture. He erected many splendid monuments like Taj Mahal in Agra. It is a tomb of his wife, Empress Mumtaz Mahal. Please note it down. Taj Mahal in Agra is the tomb of his wife, Empress Mumtaz Mahal. Red Fort, Jama Masjid in Delhi, Mosque in Lahore, that is in present day Pakistan, are some of his contribution towards the architecture. The most famous and see here, the most famous and precious throne of the world, that is Takht-i-Taus. What is the name of that throne? Takht-i-Taus. I will write it here. Takht-i-Taus. The most precious throne, the most precious throne of the world, that is Takht-i-Taus. Name of the throne, that is Takht, Takht-i-Taus. Taus. Okay. See, the most famous and precious throne of the world, the Takht-i-Taus, or it is also called as Takht-i-Shahanshah-i-Hindustan. What it is called? It is called Takht-i-Taus, or it is also called as Takht-i-Shahanshah-i-Hindustan. That is famously known as Peacock Throne, said to be worth $1 million, was also created during the rule of Shah Jahan. Okay. This Peacock Throne was created during the reign of Shah Jahan. It is of millions of dollars. He was founder of Shahjahanabad. Now presently it is known as Old Delhi. Okay, now it is presently known as Old Delhi. Shah Jahan was the founder of Shahjahanabad. Presently, this Shahjahanabad is presently known as Old Delhi. In 1658, Shah Jahan fell ill in 1658. He nominated his eldest son Dara Shikoh as his successor. Whom he appointed? He appointed Shikoy. His eldest son Dara Shikoy, Shikoh. Okay. When he fell ill, he nominated his eldest son Dara Shikoh as his successor. But his third son Aurangzeb was finally victorious. There were conflicts among the brothers, and Aurangzeb wanted to become the emperor of the Mughal Empire. So, what happened? Aurangzeb defeated Dara Shikoh. Finally, Aurangzeb became victorious in a series of wars among the princes. Okay, now let's know about Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb was the last of the great Mughals. Okay, they are also called as early Mughals. They are also Mughals from Babur to Aurangzeb. The rule of Babur till Aurangzeb, it is called as, they are called as the rule of great Mughals, or it is also called as the early Mughals. Okay, Aurangzeb was the last of the great Mughals. He took the title of Alamgir. What title he took? He took the title of Alamgir. The meaning of Alamgir, the meaning of Alamgir is conqueror of the world. What is the meaning of Alamgir? It means the conqueror of the world. Aurangzeb witnessed the revolt of the Rajputs, Ahams, Sikhs, and Marathas. In 1670, Shivaji, the great leader of the Marathas, openly started war against the Mughals. Okay, in 1670, when did they start? In 1670, Shivaji, the great leader of Marathas, openly started war against the Mughals. Shivaji stopped Aurangzeb from entering the Deccan. Till Shivaji was alive, Aurangzeb did not invade Deccan. But what happened? But soon after Shivaji's death in 1680, okay, soon after Shivaji's death in 1680, he attacked the Maratha kingdom. Shivaji's son Shambhaji successfully defended his kingdom, but however, Aurangzeb's soldiers kept Shambhaji alive, and later he was executed. Okay. But even after his death, Aurangzeb could never conquer the Maratha kingdom completely, even during 27 years of war in the Deccan. From this, Aurangzeb had to face the revolts of Rajputs of Mewar, Rathods, Sikhs, Jats, Bundelas, Satanemis in the north. He waged war against Adil Shahi of Bijapur and Nizam Shahi of Golconda and annexed them to his kingdom. Finally, his enmity with powerful Rajputs led to the downfall of the Mughals. Aurangzeb attempted to implement the philosophies advocated in Quran strictly. Okay, many popular Hindus were spoiled during his rule. He had prohibited sati system, musical performances, processions, gambling, consumption of liquor, and ganja plant extracts in his kingdom. He lived a simple life. He was called a Zinda Fakir. What he was called? He was called a Zinda Fakir, which means a living fakir. After Aurangzeb's death in 1707, when did Aurangzeb die? Aurangzeb died in 1707. Okay, he died in 1707. After Aurangzeb's death in 1707, the Mughal Empire gradually began to shrink because the later Mughals lacked his qualities. Now, let's have a look over the administration of the Mughals. Contribution of Mughals. Their first contribution towards administration. It is the administration of Mughals. Mughals ruled India for more than 200 years, and they have given important contribution in different fields. The Mughal rule was heredity. It means after father, his son would become the emperor. Okay. The Mughal rule was hereditary. The power was centralized in the ruler, and he was the absolute ruler. They considered themselves as emperors and called themselves as Bahadshahs. Badshah was the absolute head of the administration, military, and judiciary. He had ministers to assist him. To help him, there were ministers. He had absolute powers to appoint or remove the ministers. Appointing mansabdars, providing land grants, and formation of laws were the major functions of the king. Persian was the official language during the Mughal period. Persian language was the official language. The kingdom was divided into Pranta, Sarkar and Paraganas. Vakil, Diwan, Mir Bakshi and Mukhya Sardar were the important ministers at the central government. They were assisted by officers like Rajapala, Bakshi, Wakiya, Navis, Kotwal, Faujdar, Amal Gujar and Batik. Majority of revenue system, the next contribution, Mughal contribution towards revenue system. See, in revenue people were farmers in the Mughal rule. Land tax was fixed on the fertility of the land. The agriculture lands were measured in order to fix the tax amount. Okay. One third of the product was paid as the tax either in the form of money or crops. The terminologies used by Mughals in revenue system are even used today. Coming to the next, their contributions towards society. In the society, kings, ministers, officers, and employees had a better status. The people were also wearing jewelry made of pearls, sapphire. Sapphire means a precious blue stone. Okay, sapphire means precious blue stone. They were wearing pearls, sapphire, and other metals. Excluding Aurangzeb, other rulers indulged in music. See, excluding Aurangzeb, the other rulers supported and loved music, dance, consumption of liquor, gambling, and other means of entertainment. Farmers' life was in misery due to heavy tax, inefficient policy of the rulers, and interference of the middlemen. Leather processors leather processors, potters, cobblers, washermen, and others formed non-agriculture working class. Sati system, child marriage, and bride price. Bride price means what it is? It is in Kannada we call it as Varadakshine. Okay. See, Sati system, child marriage, and bride price were in practice. Coming to the next, that is economic system. Since North had many rivers, cultivable land was available naturally. A good system of irrigation aided the growth of agriculture. Helped the growth of agriculture. There were many government factories. Out of them, textile industries were concentrated in Banaras, Patna, Dhaka, Chabaspura, Sonar, Lahore, Fatehpur Sikri, and Agra. Akbar supported the shawl and carpet weaving works. During the rule of Mughals, apart from the internal trade relationships with the other countries of Asia and Europe. See, during the rule of Mughals, apart from internal trade, there were trade relationships with the other countries of Asia and Europe. Raw silk, metals, horses, perfume, gold and silver were imported. Cotton cloth, pepper, opium and woolen clothes were exported. What was exported? Cotton cloth, paper, opium and woolen clothes were exported. During the Mughal period, many books were written. This is contribution towards literature. During the Mughal period, many books were written in Persian, Arabic, Turkish, Hindi and Sanskrit languages. Some of the main books are Babar Nama. I have already explained about this Babar Nama. That is an autobiography. Jahangir's Tuzik-e-Jahangir. This is also an autobiography. Abul Fazl's Ain-e-Akbari and Akbarnama in Persian language. I have also told you the details of this Ain-e-Akbari. And Badauni translated the Ramayana into Persian language. Faizi translated the mathematical work Leelavati into a Persian language. Raja Todarmalla, the Bhagavata Puran, translated Bhagavat Puran into the Persian. Ramacharitamanasa in Hindi. Surdasa wrote Surasagara in Hindi. Now, contribution towards art and architecture. Mughals' contribution towards art and architecture. Akbar and Shah Jahan contributed more to art and architecture during the Mughal period. The buildings built by them are in Fatehpur Sikri, Agra and Delhi. During Akbar's period, Indo-Persian style of architecture came into existence. Famous palaces like Akbar Mahal, Jahangir Mahal, Panch Mahal, Jodhabai Mahal, Birbal Mahal, Ibadat Khana, Jamma Masjid, Buland Darwaza of Fatehpur Sikri are his important contributions. This is Jahangir Mahal, Diwan-e-Khas, Panch Mahal, Jodhabai Mahal, Birbal Mahal, Ibadat Khana, Maktab Khan, Daftar Khana, Jama Masjid. Now, during the reign of Shah Jahan, Red Fort, Moti Masjid, Diwan-e-Am, Diwan-e-Khas, Rang Mahal, Khasa Mahal, Taj Mahal and other buildings were built. This is Moti Masjid, Diwan-e-Am, Diwan-e-Khas, Taj Mahal. The throne of Maurya. It took 7 years of work and 1 crore expenses, and a spacious Jama Masjid were his contributions. Apart from of Shah Jahan are available in places like Lahore, Kabul, Khandar, Kashmir, Ajmer, and Allahabad. During the period of Humayun, the Mughal art of painting evolved. With the help of Mir Sayyid Ali and Abdas, some painted canvases were created. Of 17 artists in the court of Akbar, 13 artists were Hindus. Famous among them were Dashwant, Baswana, Dashwant, famous among them were Daswant, Baswana, Lala Jagannath, Mukunda. In Jahangir's court, Ustad Mansur and Abdul Hassan were present, but Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb were not interested much in paintings. Like this, Mughals contributed to different periods during their rule. Okay, dear students, now we'll wind up the session here. In the next session, we'll come up with a new chapter. Thank you and have a good day.